Greetings Adventures, New World Eternum 1.1.3. Downtime will begin at 11 p.m. PST, which is today on November 18th, and will take approximately 2 hours. This is introducing Turkulon, a Thanksgiving-themed event. Obviously got this new flail skin, which is fantastic. Also, doggos are borkin. So we have the age-old event, which is kind of fun with some new rewards. I imagine there's not going to be anything that's new for Turkulon specifically, but I guess they have a rewards page for it. Looks like just some skins. The flail one is new. The great axe one is not. Everything else is basically the same or kind of generic loot. Dude, I have so many noises going on in my house right now. I need to, like, chill. Things need to chill. Oh, okay, so they do have a little bit better rewards. They got the infused turkey coatings, which only work versus Turkulon, will be useless after the event. And the ward potions, which only work versus Turkulon, will be useless after the event. And the luck ones, which will only be useful for Turkulon and be useless at the event. Okay. I mean, other games do that too, or they have a limited time drop, so this is fine. It looks like they're adjusting the drops a little bit, but the actual fundamentals aren't changing too much from what I'm reading here so far. And yeah, they don't really mention anything else changing. So it's just drops that are changing with this event compared to last year's, which is about what I expect. I don't really expect them to have new content, to be honest. It feels like we've already kind of exhausted that. There's some changes in general. These are kind of bug fixes, or more sort of bug fixes. Some with the DX12, which is nice. I know they've been trying to improve that a bit. I feel like I can't even launch with this. Like, it does not feel great. And I'm hoping they fix that, because it, in theory, should be better. War fixed an issue of allowing defending players to gain entry into the attacker's camp. Okay, yeah, that's been a thing. You could still probably do it with the blunderbuss, I'm guessing, but it's good that they're actually looking at war, because this is probably the first time we've had something addressed in war. The problem is I don't see them addressing the defender fort spawn changes. With defenders right now, it's like when you should be a 50 second spawn, it's like about 1 minute and 30 seconds, because the game like takes a long time to actually load you in and place you into the world for some reason, and it's basically just costing wars. Any war that gets the fort right now, I'd say it's an 80 to 90% chance the attacker team wins. Like, it's not even close, because the defenders in fort have a severe disadvantage for some reason with the patch. And I don't think anyone's like completely figured out what happened from AGS's side, because it's a black box from a player standpoint, but it feels really shitty. And like before, I'd say it was like maybe 20% of the time you win if you get in a fort. Now it's like 80%. It's like, okay, like 20% was about what it probably should have been. Maybe a little bit higher, but like it shouldn't be that high. Hello, could I ask where this is the best spot to farm the wood grain set? It's right here. In this cave by Eden Grove. Hivagorgons and China's reward should now spawn in the middle of the arena, because it was spawning outside the map sometimes. It's an issue that could lead to be unable to respawn after death. That's good, because I've been still running into that. The issue here is this issue existed 6 months ago, and it just came back. And it's like, I asked a lot of questions about version control. It feels like the game has reverted in some sense about 6 to 8 months in terms of bugs that are being introduced. Anything else here super significant? Fix an issue to climb camp walls in war. Yeah, you can still climb in the fort. It doesn't say they're allowing that. Fix an issue that allowed players to mantle higher than intended in arena. Yeah, so like the new jump like allows you to get higher, and that broke some things. So it's good that they're actually fixing that, but they should have caught this before. Miicrow no fix your elemental band is super annoying. Nameplates seem sketchy too, like if they're better or not. Yeah, the nameplate issue should be addressed immediately, and it's honestly surprising that it's not. From a technical standpoint, I think they're trying to figure out how to not give console players the ability to edit nameplates, because they're worried about them frying their consoles. And from a PC standpoint, it's like without that, the game is unplayable. From my perspective, it's like without extra nameplates, the game is literally unplayable, and it should work for both consoles and PC. And if they can't optimize that, then it's not a solution. Like the fact that they're like, oh, we did some optimization things, and that's what we spent this last year on. And it's like, oh yeah, we're also going to limit the player size to 15. So it's like, if I look over here, like I can't even see like this guy that's at the kiln. Like I can't see his name for a second. I can't see this guy right there. Like, and now I can't see this guy over here. Like you see how my peripheral vision's like nothing. Like the nameplates disappear and reappear. Like if you're a healer this is an absolute nightmare. If you're a ranged DPS player, this is an absolute nightmare. If you're a light melee assassin hatchet player, this is paradise because no one knows you're even coming because they can't tell if you're on their team or not. Like half the time I shoot at somebody and then I realize they're actually on my team. And it's super, super frustrating. Anyways, with the AI, fix an issue that occasionally causes Typhoon to get stuck and prevent progression. That's or Typhon. That's good. There was an issue with the wall too, where sometimes it wouldn't spawn and you could progress to the second area from the first. That was kind of weird. I've only experienced that like maybe 1 in 15 raids though. Hero can sometimes wipe an encounter if players alive had no death door revives remaining. Okay. So they're just doing kind of generic raid bug fixes in terms of the AI. Combat changes fix an issue where players could take damage while blocking with a shield if performed after certain actions. This also applies to Flail's barrage, but I feel like Flail doesn't really get a lot of love, so I don't imagine I'll fix it. But yeah, the Boldo's passive where it can block attacks. Sometimes you use this and it immediately breaks your block and you lose the ability, and it's just like, what? Like, it's literally supposed to be immune. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But apparently there's a window there that's not great. Did they change the knife to only for the event, miicrow? Did it say better chance for rare items during and after the event? Maybe we can look, but yeah, it's just for the event. Well, it says both during and after the event. Yeah, but it's only for turkeys, though. So it's like, it doesn't apply to anything else. So it's like, I guess if you're hunting turkeys, like, the knife is useful for the event, but I don't know how many people are really trying to force gather turkeys, because they don't really give high-end rewards for the most part. But I guess that is a benefit for after the event. Me in mid swinging my mouse all over trying to find a target with 40 people in the fort because I can't see any nameplates. Yeah, it's just like, it's not really playable. Like, literally how I play in war right now is I'll look around, I'll see where my team generally is, I'll see where the enemy generally is, and I'm constantly spinning to try to like keep mental track of where everyone is, and I'm playing like a memorization game of like who's on my team, who's on the enemy team, and playing off of that. Like, the colors somewhat help because you can see like people's outfits are usually a different shade, but you can't, it's not really that distinguishable. It's not like Overwatch or something like that where they have a hue around them that would be blue if they're on our team, or a hue that's red if they're on the enemy team. Like, people can totally just duck dive, hold the, like, go prone like this, and you wouldn't be able to tell whose team they are on, and you wouldn't even see them in New World. So it's like, it doesn't work that way exactly. What's up, SLB? Fix an issue where Void Blade's basic attacks could override triggering some of its abilities. Yep, I've seen that. That's one of the bugs we just talked about. Slightly reduce the homing of Hatchet's basic attack to address how sticky it is. That's good because you literally can't run from it right now. The major issue with Hatchet is, like, if I have 50% haste and the Hatchet's auto-attacking me, I literally can't run. There's two issues with this. One is the homing. The other is that it's staggering off of autos in PvP for some reason. They said this would be implemented in PvE, but it seems to be bleeding over into PvP, and it literally makes stuff unplayable. Like, you should be slowed to the point where you can't sprint if you're a light or a medium player, I believe, but if you're a heavy player, that should be significantly reduced, or you should be able to move almost right away. So I think there's like one or two other layers to this, but this isn't a bad thing that's getting fixed. Fixed an issue where clip load bonuses did not always persist after a teleport, which is really, really good, because they actually never persist after a teleport, because we tested that with 100% certainty about like 10 times in a sitting, with several different ways of teleporting, including death. And that completely broke the game in a few circumstances. This also pertains to war, because if you're on defense and fort and you respawn back in, you don't have time to unequip and re-equip your gear. So you're just constantly taking that 25% extra PvP crit damage mod, which is why I see posts on Reddit where it's like, why am I getting one shot by fire staff? Like, this is one of the reasons why you're getting one shot by fire staff. Did they address elemental ban being completely bugged and being completely broken? No, but that's like, this is one of the reasons why you're getting one shot. I made a Reddit post about Hatchet that nerfing it would be a problem because Firestaff and BB is still hella strong and Elemental Bend is bugged. By nerfing Hatchet, they're pretty much removing the only threat to Firestaff and BB abusers. I'd argue SNS is also a counter to BB and Firestaff, but like, we shouldn't be in like a three-way rock, paper, scissors meta. Like, there should be other stuff that's viable as well. I do think Fire Staff is too strong, and I think BB's mostly strong because of target lock right now, though. Because most of the bugs are less abusable without the target lock. Fix an issue where unnatural stuttering could occur for PvP players when using heavy attacks. Okay, made the following updates to target lock in PvP, reduce the aim speed when target locked on an enemy player, and pause turning and aiming at an enemy target when they dodge. I mean, the issue isn't like after they dodge per se. Like, this is part of the issue because like if someone were to dodge behind you and your target locked, you're never gonna have your back turned, right? So they can't backstab. But like the major issue here is that you're perfectly like it's literally a budget aimbot, and budget aimbot and a hit scan weapon like BB is not balanced. Like, I think fundamentally, if they wanted to keep target lock in the game, the way that they'd have to balance it is every single time you use target lock, your ability damage was nerfed by, or all your damage overall is nerfed by like 10 to 20%. Because they make the argument that if you're target locking, you can't hit a headshot, right? That doesn't matter, or that's what Dave made an argument for this on the dev team. That literally doesn't matter in terms of PvP for the most part, because no one's like gonna aim for headshots anyway. Because with Blunderbuss, like your crit damage mod is super, super low, and you're focused on like actually hitting shots. And if you aim for center of mass, you'll hit more shots than if you aim for headshots, like just overall. So like, why aim for the head? It doesn't really affect anything. And for the most part, it didn't seem like crit damage mod was worth it. So it just felt like target lock was strictly beneficial. And I think they need to find a different way of balancing it, or they need to like, in my opinion, like remove it for PvP. But I know I probably won't win that battle. They did. Gosh dang, their loss. Right? Not right now. It's not. Talk about target lock. Target lock is just a little bit unfair, in my opinion. Just a little bit. Fix an issue where left. Oh, this is just a console thing. Fix an issue that caused the group HUD to show debug name when loading the player names. Okay, so these are just like general issues. Maybe we'll stop seeing some bearded man kill us whenever we die in OPR too. And not being able to see gear. Like, I don't know. Seems like there are some changes. One second, I need to address doggos. They are being too crazy. Don't mind when they bork, but when they're borking super late at night, then it's not good. Although it's dark earlier now. It feels like they would, if they actually like cared about the game in terms of balancing and like exploits and stuff like this, they would disable SNS. They would disable Hatchet. They would probably not disable. Well, no, they would have to disable Fire Staff. They'd have to disable at least Life Staff, Sacred Ground, at least Fire Staff's a Meteor Shower until the. Well, actually, no. You could also do it with Pillar of Fire. Yeah, there's multiple ways to do this other exploit. So you'd have to disable Meteor Shower, Pillar of Fire, Sacred Ground, Light's Embrace, Divide's Embrace at a minimum. If you wanted to balance those weapons, you'd have to disable Void Blade. You'd have to disable Blunderbuss as a whole. You'd have to disable Bow as a whole. Like, you're basically taking out over half the weapons in the game if they actually wanted to address exploits right now, and they're like half the artifacts as well. Or not half the artifacts, half the armor pieces, and like 2 or 3 artifacts. Like, the game, in my eyes, for this console patch should not launch in a ready state or something that should have been ever like approved. Like, it's just, there's too many. Like, it's one thing that they don't know about the bugs, but there's literally just too many exploits for the game to be like really functional right now, and it makes it very hard to like play. At least Hatchet is a melee weapon. I would argue that ranged weapons are more disruptive than the melee ones. Oh yeah, 100%. Because a ranged player can run 5 con and not get punished for it because you can't close distance versus it. The Hatchet that's running 5 con literally gets one shot by a ranged player. Wait, you can get up this thing. What the hell? I didn't realize you can get this high. Oh, I found a new thing to do. Does Thorny Reflection work with the band ring? Yeah, it does. So Elemental Band is pretty strong.